Hello all. Today we are solving LeetCode problem number 3474, lexicographically smallest generated string. So you are given two strings named string 1 and string 2 of lengths n and m respectively. A string word of length n plus m minus 1. So the size is given, so you have to construct a string which is of size n plus m minus 1 is defined to be generated by string 1 and string 2 if it satisfies the following condition for each index. So how do we generate? You have to follow two conditions, so they are given below. So if string 1 of I is equal to t, the substring of the word with size m starting at index I is equal to string of 2. So what exactly this means? So if string 1 of I is equal to t, in that case what should be done is you have to add the given space is n plus m minus 1, right? The new generated string. So then the new generated string's ith position should be replaced with ith position of string 2. So which means you have a b, for example, from string 2. So you will have placed these two values next to next, so which means you will place in the generated string, and if I is equal to 0 and in string 1 it is t, so what you do is you will take the total value starting from I to this is n, right? So I to n minus 1 or 0 to n minus 1, so this is the actual one, so these string and place in generated. So which means generated also it will start with 0 index, right? So 0 to n minus 1, for example, and n is 3, so you have 0 1 2, so 0 1 2 string will be placed with whatever value you are having in string 2. So in this case you have AB, so in the newly generated string, if the new generated string is of size 4, you will place AB here. If I is equal to T in string 1, so this is about the first condition. And in if string of 1 is equal to f, the substring of the word size m starting at index is not equal to string 2. That is, if it is, if I, the string 1, if I is equal to f, so then what it should be is it should not be equal to string 2 in the generated. So these two are the given condition. So let me write down clearly two conditions. So one is if in string 1 ith index value is equal to true, so you will have place string 2 value in ith position of generated string. And the second one is if in string 1 the ith position is not equal to, is equal to false or f, actually it is false, so that is why they have given us f. So then you will place no string 2 in ith position of generated. Instead you should have a different string. So let us understand this clearly by running through the example 1. So you are given tf, I think I have to zoom in, yeah. So you are given tf and the string as ab. So now this is of length 4 and this is of length 2. So based on the given one, the generated should be 4 plus 2 minus 1, which is 5. So you have 5 places, 1 2 3 4 5. So now you have to iterate through string 1, and you encounter the ith position is t. So then what you do is you will place a b from the ith position. So I is here, so you will place a b here. And for now, if here, now we are jumping to the next position. So now the current ith position is for f. So what we do is, I think it's better to change the ink. So now the current position is f. So now what happens is you have to check if this one, and the size should be 2 because of string 2, so 1 and 2. So if these two positions has, I mean, this position should not have a b within it. Okay, here we have b and an empty space, so this condition is satisfied. So we move to the next iteration, and it is t in the third iteration. So now what we do is, the position we will look for in the generated string. So now the current I is here, and now you will place again a b here, right? And now this is done. You move to the fourth iteration. So it is the last iteration. So now this is f. So the new I position is this one. This is a new updated I position, and now you check if it is equal to AB. This is B and one empty space, so there is no AB here. So this is also satisfied. So now we have only empty spaces remaining. So since we have to return lexicographically smallest generated string, we will fill it with A, and the condition is completely satisfied. So this is the string we formed, and this is what exactly we will be returning. So you can clearly see this is the answer. So how do we solve this? And this is hard problem because the complexity of understanding this problem is hard. But to solve this is simple. We have to understand the idea behind it. So first we will start with string 1 and true conditions. So based on that, we will fill the generator, and then again we will iterate on string 1, and we check if the condition is satisfied, else we try to change it, and we check condition is satisfied. Okay, else we try to change. Okay, if not we return empty string. So this is the idea which we are going to use to solve this particular problem. So let me take down this is tf and tf and ab, right? So based on the idea which we have discussed, for the first part we have to handle only true part. So we will have the generated string, so which is of size 5, because 4 plus 2 minus 1, which is 5. So you have 5 empty spaces. So now you are at here, and we will also use an empty not an empty array, we will use a boolean array which is initialized with false, based on the size of this generated string size, just to track down the track down the value actually. So let me explain. So we will have false 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 and false. So 5. So now what exactly this means is, like, when it will be turned into true is if these two positions, for example, we are having the string as AB, right? So from this position, if you have AB, then this will be turned into true, and from this position if you have AB, then this will be turned into true as well. So this is how this uh, particular array we are using to track down, if we could able to if we will be able to convert to a valid subarray, or else we have to return as empty substring, right? So not a subarray, substring, so we have to return an empty string. So that is why we are going to track down these value. So now we are at this position true, so we will fill with AB, and this the second position we are going to skip it. So now we are at this position, so this is index 2, so right here, and we will fill with AB again, and there is no more true left. So this first part is done, and based on this you can see this, we have AB here, right? So this is updated to true, and at this position at first I is equal to 2, it's B and A, right? So you cannot change because this is not AB, so this is BA, so this remains false. And at this index position 2, this is AB, so we can change this to true. So this is the updated uh, array as well, right? And this is all about the first part, and now moving to the second part. Here we are checking if we need to if this false condition is working. If not, we are going to change it, right? So now let me write it down actually. So a b a b, and this is empty, right? Also true f, true f, and false. So this is done. So now we will skip this first position, we will come here and we will check at this position if it is something similar to string 2. No, right? So this is done, and we will come to this index positions. This is 3, so 0 1 2 3. So from here we will check if this is something, first we have to check if it is true actually. So if it is true, then we cannot change. If this is true, we cannot change. If it is false, then only we can change, and then we will check if it is string 2. If it is string 2, it is not valid. If it is not string 2, if it is any other string other than string 2, or it is not that particular substring, then it is a valid one. So these two are valid, and yeah, so we are done here, and we will return this as the answer. But here we are initializing this as an empty string, right? But initially we can initialize as a all the strings, so that this will be a, and this is the smallest lexicographical string. So the question is the lexicographically smallest generated string. So based on that we will initialize every value as a, and hence this will be a, and we can return a. I mean these strings as the output. So let us have one more condition here. So what if this is ABC? What happens if this is ABC? Or let me write it down as ABC, new string. So what happens is, we will go through the first part. So first part is you have to create 6 strings, I mean 6 spaces, the generated one. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we are having 6 here, and tf. So now we will fill the true places. So from here we will fill this with A, B, and C. And now what true at this position, which is here, this is already filled with C, right? Already filled. So if already this is filled, then you cannot replace or change it, because of this true condition should be satisfied, right? So you return empty string, because this cannot be done, or you cannot generate a lexicographically small as a string. So that is a problem here. So what if you're having BB, right? So now you will come into this part where you will utilize this and you will try to change it. So in this case, you have again 5 spaces to be generated. So the new part, so 1 2 3 4 5, so you have 5 spaces, and based on true you will fill with B, and this true also you will fill with B, and this will be A. And the array, which is initially false, and false. So now this is done and this is true, right? So also, yeah, so now you can clearly see that at this position also, looking from this position also, you are having string 2. So this conversion will be completely changed. So this is true, this will become true, and from this position you are getting BB, so true, and BB from here true, and BA from here, so this will be false. So you have got this one, and now we are moving to the second part to check the false. So you have BB, and A. Now you are having true, and false, right? So now looking at this, we have to check false. So where false lies is this position and this position. So looking at this position, you have to check if it is a string 2. Yes, this forms string 2. So now we have to check if could be changed. For that we will be looking into this particular array. So looking at this position, this is true. So if it is true, it cannot be changed. So now you will go ahead and return empty string, right? And looking at this position, it is false, and this is verified, right? So there is no change required as we discussed for the first case, but for this case this is true, you cannot change, and hence you return this empty string as the output. So this is the idea behind solving this particular problem, and the time complexity which will consume is big O of n times m, and we will return this, we will solve this using this particular time complexity. And with this idea, let us go ahead and code this up. So we have to start with n and m value, which is length of string 1 and m is length of string 2. So now this is done. We will initialize the result as an array of a's as discussed. This is of times n plus m minus 1. So this is the size, and now we will have the array, the used array, through which we will track the true or false value. So or we can have boolean array, right? So boolean array, which is false, and this is also for the same size. So you will have it as n plus m minus 1 times the size, right? So now you will iterate and you will check for the true case, t case. So for I in range, okay, till n times, And now if the string of I is equal to t, then only we are going to check. So if string 1 of I is equal to t, right? So now we are going to check it. So for checking, we will iterate. So for j in range, we start from j, sorry, this we start from I and wait until I plus m, because of the string 2 size, right? We have to use the string 2 string 2 for this particular validation. So now we will check if the boolean array of j is true, right? I think I have to copy this. Boolean array of j is true and result of j is not equal to, which means if the value is filled actually. So why we are doing this comparison? If the boolean array value is true and the value is already filled with something, you cannot replace it, right? If you replace, this particular condition will be failed, so now for that only we are doing this comparison. So string 2 of j minus 1, if it is not equal, then we return empty string. So this is for the first part. And if this is not happening, then what happens is we will be updating the result. So result of j is equal to string 2 of j minus 1. So you update the string with the string 2 and you move on and you update the boolean array, right? Boolean array of j is equal to true. So now this is done and we will handle the case for false case, right? So again, for I in range, we will iterate till n times. And now if string 1 of I is equal to f, oops. So now this is where the next condition happens. So we will check for all the result of j is if it is equal to if for all position, if it is equal, then we have to change it, right? Because at f position that cannot be string 2. So if for all we are going to check, so result of j, if it is equal to string 2 of j minus 1 for j in range, it is from I to I plus m, so the same condition. And if it is true, then what we are doing is we are going to change it, right? We are going to change it, try to change it. So if we are not able to change it, then that is all, we are going to return an empty string. So we will use change flag false, right? And now we will iterate for j in range from this is to change. So whatever we are changing, we will be changing from the reverse actually. So this is to generate the change the characters to the next smallest lexicographical character, right? Not the character basically. So is through which we will be getting lexicographically smallest string. So now we will start from I plus m minus 1 as the starting position, and we will run till I minus 1 position and decrement by 1, by 1. And yeah, so now if not the boolean array, right? So we know that if it is false in boolean array, then only we can successfully change it, else we cannot change. So that is why we are using this boolean array. So if it is not boolean array, result of j will be equal to b, because for this the test cases, uh, we are initializing with b as the value, and to the next case, next character, we are considering b. So for the smallest one, these two will satisfy the test cases for this problem, so that's why we are changing to b. And now we will update the change to true. Okay, so and we will break. And now what happens here is we will come out of the loop, and if not change, if change remains false, we will return empty string, which means we cannot able to convert to or convert the character to the next one or update the character, right? So if not change, return empty string, right? So if everything works fine, we will return by joining the result, because the result is array, so we have to return in string. So that is it. Let us run it. So I just found the issue. This should not be 1, this should be I, because we are iterating and this changes for the complete string, string 1, right? So this should be also I, and this should be also I. So now let us run it and submit it. And there you go. Thank you.